Aloha, Richard Halverson here, and today I'm going to, this is ITS128, let me share my screen. I'm going to, we are in chapter 8, and I'm going to start doing some of these labs here. We're not going to have enough time in class today for me to get all the way through, and it's Thanksgiving week, so I'm going to start with 8.16. So let's take a look at what that is. Here it is. Varied amount of input data. Okay, so this chapter is on dictionaries, right? And let me go back just one. Go back to here. And lists and dictionaries, right? Okay, so we're gonna start with this one. Okay, in this program, we're supposed to write a program that reads in a line of integers and outputs the average and the maximum. Okay, so first of all, let's just write the program for how we would do this without using lists or integers. We would say input. Let's see, ints. I'm going to say ints equals. I can say integers equals string. Input. Oh, it's a string. Okay, input. Enter enter any number of integers on a line. Okay, whatever. All right. Can I do that? Okay. And then, so I'm going to do integer string. Wasting your time here, I know. And then I'm going to do integers equals integer string dot split. So that'll split on spaces. Now there's still strings, but that's okay. So then I can go for int in integers, and I can say I need to have some variables here. I need to do okay. So average is sum. Okay, average is where you add them all up and then divide by the number, and sum is just going along and finding the biggest one. So let's so I'm going to say have a variable biggest, and that can equal the first int of the first integer. Yes, and I need a sum, so I'm going to say sum. I can't use the I don't want to use the reserved word sum, so I'm going to do sum underscore equals 0, and num equals 0. That's the number of, well, that's just the number of integers. Okay, anyway, I can do it this way or not. And I'm going to do if int is greater than biggest, then biggest equals int. And then I can do sum equals plus equals, because it's equals sum plus int. Oh, I got to do int of int. Oh geez, I got a integer. This is integers. This is the first element of this, okay? And so integer is a singular of this, and so this is integer. And if integer is bigger than biggest, then make biggest equal to integer, and this is integer. Oh, it should be the integer. This is really an inefficient way of doing this because I keep using this function over again. But that's because I'm trying to write this without thinking a lot about it before I do it, because that's maybe how you might end up coding this, or this is the way I end up coding this. Okay, so I'm summing it up, and then I also want to keep the count, and I'm just going to keep the count. I can figure out the count later on, but no, actually I can't. Okay, so now this is the number, this is the sum, and this is the biggest one. Okay, so after I go through all of them, then I'm done. So the average AVE equals sum divided by num, yeah, and the biggest is the biggest. So I'm just going to print, and it prints the average first, and then it prints the biggest. All right, so this is my program, and I'm going to run it. py test.py, and asks me for a list of integers. I'm going to say 15, comma 20, comma 0, comma 5, and I get 10 and 20. Well, it wants me to do integer, so I guess I need to print this out in an integer way. So it looks like, well, you can figure that out. But okay, so that's one way. But this is a chapter on dictionaries and lists, so we really should be doing it the list way, where we store everything into a list, and then we take the average and use the sum function and the len function to figure out the count and the sum, and use the max function to figure out the biggest one in here. So let's change this, and I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to leave this, and then I'm going to do, then I'm going to define, a list. So I'm going to say integer equals a list, and you can do that by going like that. It's an array. Any other language would call this an array. And then I can do for integer in integers. Okay, that looks the same. Wait a minute, I have to put, oh, yeah. Here I'm adding it to the list. So I go integers, append, because we're adding it onto the end of the list. And here I'm gonna integerize it. I'm gonna make it a number. It's still a string. I'm gonna say int of integers. No, int of integer. Okay, you got that? So this is a string because it's taken from these are strings. See, this is an input string, and I split it up into a bunch of little input strings. And then, oh, this is an integer. I can't do this. This has got to be integer. I'm going to say integer list. Can't be the same name. So this is integer list. And so here I'm appending onto integer list. Here I'm looping through these strings, one string at a time. And here I integerize it, I make it a number, and then I append it to my integer list, which is actually a list of integers. This is actually a list of integers, not a list of strings. Okay, so now that that's done, I can just get the average by taking the sum of integer list and divided by the length of integer list using these fancy list functions. And the max can value, I better not make it the same as the reserved word, better not make it the same name as the function name, equals max of integer list. And now I can print, and we can do it the way you should format it. Looks more. Oh no, I'm going to have you. I'm going to have you take care of the formatting. Anyway, so this should work, and this is more like how they want you to do it, because this is a chapter on lists. So anyway, that is 8.16. So thanks for watching. Aloha. In this video, I'm going to do lab 8.17. So let me share my screen. I'm going to do this one here, and here in this lab, we're going to we read in a string of numbers, and we're supposed to get a list of integers, and we're supposed to output the non-negative integers in ascending order. So that kind of means we're supposed to read in this list and only save the way I do it is only save the non-negative integers, only save the integers that are 0 or greater than or equal to 0. And then I would sort that list, because I'd use the sort function. So I'm not going to do the whole thing for you here, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to read in a list. I would do like int list, int string. I'm going to do string is equal to input, enter a list of integers. This is just a label thing, so I know what I'm doing. And then I would I would split them up. So I would do int list equals int string dot split nothing, because I'm just going to do spaces. Okay, now I've got a list there, and if I just want to do something with the non-negative ones, then I would I should turn them into integer. I've got to turn them into integers, actual integers. So I can do that by doing well, I'm just going to do it this way. For int, these are actually strings. They're not actually integers. So I'm going to do str, int str, because I've already used up int string up here, is equal to, although I could reuse it. Yeah, I'll reuse it. Is equal to, I'm going to loop. So in int list, these are still strings. If int, the integer version of int string is greater than or equal to 0, then I do something with it. And in this case, I'm just going to print it. I'm going to do print int. I can just do, I'm just going to print this thing. And then I'm going to do end equals a space. Okay, so what I've shown you here is how I exclude everything but the numbers I'm interested in. So in fact, if we run this, let me run this. Py test.py, and I enter in this list, copy this, and I'm going to paste it here. It's only going to show me the positive ones. And okay, so I want to stick that into a list. Okay, and so I can use the append thing here. So I do. So I would create a list, integer num list or something. Create the list, and then here I would pop this or append this into this by using the append function. Okay, so I'm not going to write that for you, but you can write it right here. Okay, then after that, you just simply, and what I'm going to do is, this is the string. This is the string in, these are strings. How can I convert this to, hold on a second. Okay, what we do is we want to convert each of these, which are strings. They're characters. They aren't numbers. They're strings of characters. We want to convert them into numbers. So the way we do that is we use these what are called. I'm going back to the chapter itself. List comprehensions, and I can't remember if we've covered these before, but I know we've used them. And basically, what you can do is you can do a for, just like we've been doing. But then we do this expression here, and this expression is going to take each of these one by one and do something with it. And so we can convert it to an integer. Okay, so you can read all this if you want. This is it. Convert every element to a string. Convert user into a list of integers. Here we go. Yeah, this is what we want to do right here. Int I. So anyway, we can do this. This is int num list, int num list equals this, and what that is this. But then we have this expression in front of it, and the expression in front of it is going to be integerize it. So int string. Okay. So that's what I'm doing here. So so this is a list. In fact, I don't think we even need this. I'm going to take that out. This is going to be a list, and that's because it's got brackets here. And we've already split it. So this is an int list is a split up a string of integers, still strings, and this is one at a time, and we're going to integerize them one at a time and store them into here. So now we have a list of integers, and now we can sort this list. Int num list sort. So I'm going to do this. Sorted list equals this. I think that'll work. What happens if I print that now? I'm just going to see what this looks like. Oops. What was my list of integers? Go back a couple here. Back. copy. There. Okay, so, oh, it didn't do anything. This none apparently is this. Okay, so I need to, maybe I gotta do this. Maybe I have to do this. All right, what am I doing? Okay, first of all, let me do, let me, oh, I know, I don't do, oh, this should be sorted maybe. Maybe that works. I lost my copy, paste. Oh, all right, well then it must be this. So this creates it, and then this simply sorts it. No, it's got to be sort, not sorted. Sorted is something else. I got to look that up. And then we can just print this. Copy, paste. Okay, this is the sorted list. Okay, now you're wondering what is all this? To fix this to put right there, you need to, instead of printing this, you need to append this number onto this list. Okay, that goes right here. And then, so you're not printing anything out. And so what you end up with is your int list is going to be, or this is not going to include the negative numbers because you don't want to include the negative numbers. Okay. So anyway, so I've given you enough information to do this problem, and I sort of did a lot of stuff on the fly here. But anyway, you can see how my thinking works when I'm writing these programs from scratch. And so if you have any more problems, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Aloha, this is Richard Halverson. We are going to do today we're going to do lab 18 or 8.18. So let me share my screen. And so here we are. This is the lab. And in this problem, we're given a sorted list of integers. Output the middle integer. Assume the number is always odd. Okay, so we input you know, some integers here on a line, and are all in the same line, separated by spaces, and we figure out that the middle one is a 4, and that's what we print out. Okay, that doesn't seem too difficult. Let's see, let's pop this up here, and first let's input. Let's see, integer string equals input enter integers. And then I'm going to say I want to split them up into a list. So I'm going to say list integers, integer string list equals integer string dot split. So this is one big long string that's got integers in it and spaces, and then this thing splits them up. So now we have a list of smaller strings, and each of them represents an integer. Now they're strings, so I want to change them into actual numbers. So I'm going to say integer numbers, because I can't think of anything better than that, is equal to, and it's going to be a list. So I'm going to do that, and it's going to be a list for I'm just going to say I in integer string list. Okay, so so this is going to be a single integer, but it's still a string. Now I want to turn it from a string into an actual number, an integer number. So I'm going to say int I. I think that's all I have to do. So for every I in integer string, I want to make it an integer. And that's going to be it's a list or an array, and that's what, and this is what we're going to call that array. Okay, great. Now what I got to do is I got to print out the middle one. So so let's say there's okay, so so num integers equals I think len of integer, yes, numbers. So that's how many numbers there are. And so let's see what this would look like. I want to make sure I'm doing something right now. It's always going to be an odd number. So let's say I have 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. Okay, so I got these 5 numbers, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so 5 divided by 2 would equal 2. 2 with a remainder of 1. But so that's 2, and index number 2 is, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. And yes, that's the middle one. So I'm gonna I'm gonna believe that this is the right formula. And so so it's the length over 2. So I'm gonna say middle equals num integers, integer divide by 2. Then I just need to print middle. No. That's the, no, that's, this is going to give me the index, middle index. And so really what I want to print is this is the list. So integer numbers, and I want the middle index of that. So so let's see what this looks like. Let me save this, and py test.py. So enter some integers, and I'm going to enter these integers. Well, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, and yes, it outputs the right answer. 5, 10, 20, 50, 80, 81, 82, 83. I wonder how many that is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's because I didn't type the py. Oops. Ignorant. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 5. No, that's 6. 11, 12, 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 15. Okay, so 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I guess I took that as one number. And then so there's 9 of them. So 9 divided by 2 is 4 with a remainder of 1. So 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's the right one. And that is the middle one, because there's 4 on this side and there's 4 on this side. All right, great. So let's move on to, it's 223. Let's move on to the next one. So this is write a program that first gets a list of integers from an input, and that list is followed by 2 more integers on the same line, representing the lower bounds and the upper bounds of a range. All right, so and then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to print out you're supposed to create a list that has only the numbers that are within this range inclusive. So in this case, it's gonna include the 0 and the this thing. Yeah, so it's going to include the 0 and the 30 and the 25 and the 33, but it's not going to include the 51 because it's outside the range, and it's not going to include the 200 because it's outside the range, and that's what is printed here. Okay, so let's see, for that one, first I'm going to input a string of integers. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to split them. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to get a range. I got to read in a range. So get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to say range. I better have a better min-max. Min-max equals input of enter minimum, enter lower and upper bounds. And there's going to be 2 of them there, so I'm going to split them. Min-maxes, I can't think of good variable names, equals min-max dot split, just like up above there. And then I'm going to say min lower bound equals int of min maxes of 0, because the lower one is going to be the 0, and upper bound is going to equal the integer value of this min maxes of 1. Okay, so you see this now. This is a string. This is going to make a list of strings, and we have to convert those strings to numbers. There's this string, which is the lower bound, and there's this string, which is the upper bound. And then this makes some numbers, and that stores them in here. So these 2 are numbers. And so we can compare, like integers from this list, because we have this list here, which is we read in the integers as strings. We split them into a list of integers, but they're still in string format. But this converts them into an actual number format. And so now we've got numbers and numbers, so we can compare numbers. So now we're going to loop through all of these numbers, and we're only going to we're going to make a new list, which we're going to end up printing. Let's see, we actually could. Now let's just leave it this way. So I'm gonna say in range. So I'm gonna make a new list called in range. And it's gonna be a list equals a list. And I'm gonna do for integer in integer numbers, for that, if integer is greater than or equal to lower bound and integer is less than or equal to upper bound, then we add integer to in range. In range, append, I guess, integer. Okay, so that's probably all we need to do. And then I think if we just print, this should have that. This should have all the integers. All right. So let's do that. Let's try that. Let's see. What I'm going to do is hold on here. Okay, I just went forward and ran and finished this, and there is an error. There's a syntax error, and you'll see the error message for that. And then also, yeah, you got to format it when you print it out. So anyway, so you can finish that. Let's go to the next one. Word frequencies. Okay, in this, we write a program that reads a list of words, and then the program outputs those words and their frequencies. All right, well, this is kind of a dumb program, but we're going to use the count function, where you have a string, and you count the number of instances of a substring. Okay, I think that's what we're using here. Yes. So what we do is we read in a string that's got a bunch of words in it, and it has some duplicate words and has some triplicate words or whatever. And then it goes down the line, and for each word, it says how many of those words there are in this thing you just typed in. Okay, so there's only one hey. It's just one. There's two highs. Yeah. There's one mark. Okay, there's two highs, as we know, and then there's one mark, and we're supposed to see that it's case sensitive. Okay, so let's write this. This is kind of a weird program, but let's see what this would be like when you write it. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of. This is my last. I'm going to go enter words, and I'm going to say words string, and then I'm going to say split words string, and have it be a word string list. No, this can just be word list. And then I can do for word in word list. Okay, for word in word list, word count equals the number of, this is words list, and we have a word, so the word count equals word list count of word. So it's how many of the words there are in the list, and that's how many of them there are. And then I think we just need to print. Then we need to, we need to print. And we print inside the for loop, it looks like. Okay, hold on. I'm going to check to see if I'm right. Yeah, that's that'll get this will get you to where you need to go, to where you want to go. All right, what's next? Contact list. I'm going to try to finish this before class today. Okay, a contact list is a place where you can store a specific contact with other associated. Okay, contact list. Oh, gee, I haven't seen this one yet. Contact list. Oh, okay. So we're going to input this. Takes word pairs, and then like that, and then it's going to put it in a dictionary. And then what you do is you say the key index key to the dictionary, and it's going to output that. Okay, so oh, that's weird. All right, so I'm going to get a contact list. This is going to be a contact string, and contacts, contact name, and phone number pairs. Okay, and this is going to be contact list. No, it's not going to be that, is it? It's going to be contact. This is going to be contact string. I'm just going to say contact string split, and then I'm going to do for index in I know what, range of length of contact. I hate when that does that. This the length of that divided by 2. That range. Okay, so here's what I'm doing here. Close this. Okay, so we've got Joe 1, 2, 3, 4, Mary 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me make this a little bigger. And John 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so this is going to be in when we're talking about compact string split. This particular, that's what this is. This is contract split 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I want to do is I want to make a for loop that's the length of contact string split is 6 elements, divided by 2 is 3. So this is going to be I in the range of 0, 1, 2. It's going to be 0, 1, 2. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2. And so that's what that is. And so 0, the name of Joe is going to be index 0, and index, the phone number is going to be 0 plus the length of this thing. Okay, so this is Joe, the name Joe, and this is Joe's phone number. And then 1 is going to be 1 plus the length, and that's going to be 4. This equals 3. So it's going to be, this is Joe's phone number, and this is, oh, no, this has got to go up by 2, doesn't it? Okay, all right, never mind. Let's do this again. This has got to be, it's got to be this, length of contact split, comma 2, right? Step. Stop and step. That's what I'm doing. Okay, stop and step. I think that's right. And then so it's going to be so then it's going to be 0 to 4. Okay, so we still add the length. Okay, so the dictionary, I'm going to define a dictionary. I'm going to call it contacts equals this. And I guess what I do is I do contacts of contact string split of I equals context this plus length of this, of the contact split. So I'm going to say it's not that, it's that divided by 2, isn't it? Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So the length is 6. The length is 6 because we have the length is 6. And so I want half that because I want so the, oh, wait a minute. Now my thinking is all wrong. Joe's is right here. I think I'm gonna need to edit that part out. This is Joe's, and this is Mary's, and this is John's. Forget about what I was saying before about this. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. How do I delete that? Trash. Okay. So this is Joe. And, oh, okay. So it's just simply. Sorry, I have to put you through this. Plus 1. Okay, I think that's what it is. And so this is the, so that's how you load up the dictionary. All right. And then you want to, after you read that in, you want to ask for a search key. Okay, contact name equals input, enter a name, contact name. And then you just print out the phone number. Okay, so let me see if this works. Okay, I need to do this. Okay, so the range is from 0 to the length of the string, every other one, and the so this is the 0, the 0th one. This is the first one. This is the second one, the third one, fourth one, fifth one, and so 0 to 4. 0 is paired with 1, 2 is paired with 3, and 4 is paired with 5. And so that's what this does. 0 is paired with 1, and so on. So this loads up the contacts dictionary. Okay, and then after that, you should be able to write code to read in the contact name and to print out, so you read in Linda and it prints out, the phone number. Reads in Joe, prints out the phone number. All right, so let's see, it's 250. Where are we? 821. What's next? 822. Replacement words. Okay, is this the last one? Yes, it is. Okay. Write a program that replaces words in a sentence. The input begins with the word replacement pairs, original and replacement, and the next line of the input is the sentence where any word in the original list, where any word on the original list is replaced. Okay, so let's say you are going to replace automobile with car, and you're going to replace manufacturer with maker, and you're going to replace children with kids. Okay, and so you read in this, and it prints out, it replaces automobile with car, replaces manufacturer with maker. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same. It replaces children with kids. If the automobile replaces that with car, doesn't already have one. Okay, so that's how this works. So we need an array of things that we're going to replace. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back to this. Enter. Oh, okay, I'm going to have something just like this. So I'm going to change this to enter replacement pairs. How's that? Replacement pairs. And so I'm going to call this replacement pairs string. And so that's the pair string. And so now I'm going to call this replacement pairs. How about if I call it replacement pairs split? And that's going to be replacement pairs string, like that. And then I got to do something just like this. And I'm going to call this replacement pairs. And it's a dictionary. Replacement words. And it's a dictionary. And the dictionary, the first one is the word, the first one is the index, and the second one is the word that you're replacing. So this is going to be the range of this, every other one. And this is going to be replacement words, replacement pairs split. The first one is the 1 plus 1. This is that, same as that. And it's 0 to that, every other one, okay, so replacement pair, or replacement words is now equal to something like something like this is what we have. Automobile equals car. It's actually quotes. And let me just, for the sake of understanding what's going on here, so this is what it is. We've got, at this point in the code, when we're using this data, we have this dictionary called replacement words. That's this. And replacement words replace automobile with car, replace manufacturer with maker, and replace children with kids. So now when we read in a sentence, let's see, input sentence equals input, enter a sentence, whatever. Let's see. Then we just go, can we do this? Can we do for, I could have actually done it inside here, but I didn't. Okay. So for, I want a reference dictionary. Okay, I gotta go back to the textbook. I'm sorry. Dictionaries, dictionaries. Iterating over a dictionary. That's what I wanted. Dictionary methods. Iterating over a dictionary. For key in dictionary. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. For key in dictionary. Okay. Anyway, so for word in replacement words, input. Can I do this? Input sentence, replace. How does that work? How does Python replace work? This is a search the web. A Python replace character, yeah, replace whatever, replace substring. Let's do this. Oh, sure. Oh, I got to put that over there. Okay, so input sentence equals input sentence replace word with replace words. Okay, how's that? And then I guess we just print out input sentence. Okay, I'm going to see if this is right. Okay, this is pretty good, except for up here I call it replacement words, and then I somehow changed the name of it here, so you got to fix that. And then finish it, and then you can test it. You can just test it with the data that we were using. We show right here. First you enter that, and then you enter this. And if it works, it should print out this. All right, well, that concludes the lab help for Chapter 8. And I'm going to string all these labs together and post them up, and hope they help. Thanks for watching.